So Tresor joined my batch program from South Africa and he cleared it in 1 month. So Tresor,
Yeah.
I want you to share your journey, how you did it, what were the steps, what things other can learn from you for their journey.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, Thank you first of all for all the help that I got from you. I wouldn't have made it without your assistance and your guidance. It really helped me a lot. And the journey was quite exciting than I anticipated. So initially, I didn't know where to start to get my PMP. I had done some project management trainings before, but I wasn't feeling confident to do the PMP. So
Mm.
a friend of mine advised me to contact you. Actually, he contacted you and then shared your details with me. So I didn't know exactly what to expect when I joined your program. But after the first session that we had, the first weekend, I think it was a Friday, Friday 17th of May. That's
Mhm.
when we had the first class.
Okay.
I really felt that it was the right place for me to be, and the structure that you presented made me confident that I would pass the PMP in the end. And the more we progressed, I think on the second session and third session, um, I started feeling really, really confident. And I remember you asked in one of the sessions, like, what's the probability of you passing the PMP now if you take the test? And I was like 50%, like that was like after the second session, because I really felt confident. The way that you presented the whole, we started the predictive approach, the way that you presented it over 2 sessions, I understood the whole predictive approach, the processes, and the whole framework was more clear to understand. The mind maps helped a lot to structure things in my head. Um, and then I started getting a bit confused when we approached Agile. That brought a little bit of confusion in my head. But as you said, just trust the process, and I trusted the process and definitely applied your advice of one is better than zero.
Yeah.
I tried to make small progress day after day until I felt like yeah, I was getting there. I think after like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, yeah, you get a bit some demotivation maybe, and then you came with your follow-ups, and that kind of really boosted me. Those daily follow-ups, making sure that I was getting the mocks that I needed to do completed, and following up on me, it really boosted my motivation again. And as I was started doing those mocks, I got an opportunity for a job which required me to have PMP. So I had to book for PMP before I
Oh.
get the interview. So that's why I kind of booked it in hurry, I would say. And then I had to squeeze a lot of things in a short span of time. And you quite helped a lot to make sure that I did the important mocks and completed them before the exam. And that helped a lot during the exam. And the last call, the trick to be calm, to take a deep breath, and to breathe calmly before the exam, that really set me in the right mindset to take the exam. And I
Nice.
followed the 80-minute test for the 60 questions rule, which worked perfectly for me in the exam.
Mhm.
Yeah, so now I cleared my PMP yesterday, and I had the interview for the job today, and I'm hoping to get it now.
That's very good. Says how things
Yeah,
fall in the right place. That is so, I'm so happy to hear that thing. Okay, so let's
yeah.
talk about the exam. How did you manage
Yes.
time? Did you follow the same formula or did you have to improvise it? How did it work?
No, I followed the same formula. So I did that. You have that the first part, which is like a tutorial or something on how to use the thing. I did that quickly to make sure that I had a few minutes to just calm myself,
Mm,
which I did. And then in my head, I structured that, okay, I have to do the first 60 questions in maximum 8 minutes.
mm,
And luckily, I managed to get those 60 questions in 79 minutes.
okay.
And then I took the break, came back for the second part. I think the second 60 questions were the easiest, I think. and I took something less than an hour to complete those.
Mm,
And then the last 60, where I think I was getting a bit tired in the end, so I took a bit more time.
mm,
But I finished like 10 minutes before the 2 30 minutes
mm.
were completed. Yeah.
Okay. Which area of the
Yeah.
exam was most highlighted? Which was the most important area for you?
It's people and then agile. So it was at some point I was asking myself if there would be like questions on predictive approaches and other processes, but it was more agile and how you manage the team and how you handle different scenarios when there's like conflict on the team or there's delays with some deliverables from the vendors. So
Mm,
those were most of the questions. I think I got one question on end value management.
mm.
Yeah, and yeah, it was only one question and a few questions on like leadership styles. Yeah.
Okay. So leadership
Yeah, but
style you need to know and value a little bit here and there. How many drag and drop
yes.
questions?
I did three drag and drop questions. Yeah.
Were they easy?
Yes, they were easy. I managed them easily.
Okay.
They were quite
Okay.
easy. Yeah.
Okay. So you have still good amount of batch students who are preparing for PMP. So what would be your advice to them how they should prepare for the PMP? How they can get it done?
I think the first thing is to really do those mind maps. They're very important because they allow you to structure things in your head in a way that no matter the situation that you find yourself in, you can still be able to situate, okay, is this, or like, where is this exactly? Is it, which process is it? Which phase of the project is it?
Hmm.
And what applies in this particular case? And when you get those mind maps, like done correctly,
Hmm.
it's the mocks and the questions that you give, do them not just for the sake of doing them, but do them, review them, and make sure that you understand the reason why you either pass or fail the question.
Hmm.
And I think that's the most important for me. It was reviewing the questions after doing them. That was very important.
Okay. So reviewing the
Yeah,
question is kind of very important how you look into
yeah,
that way. Once you review it,
exactly.
you can get it into the better way, right? That's what
Yeah.
I am listening. That's what you are saying, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And
Okay.
during the exam, the advice of reading the questions slowly is very, very important.
Mm,
Um, because if you don't get the proper context of the question, you end up choosing the wrong option because you missed a word or you missed a keyword in the reading of the question. So it's important to read the question calmly to make sure that you understand the context. But
mm.
of course, not too slow as well because you have a time that is ticking. But you have to not rush into it and then end up not getting right the context of the question.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
there's a few things are important that we need to work, we need to follow them, we need to do that. Okay, so
yeah.
batch six just started, just ended 2 days back. Now they are the new
Okay,
students. So what would be your
okay.
advice to them? They are just starting. How important they should like you cleared in 1 month. Okay, you have a deadline, but I
Yeah,
also want them to clear in 1 month. So what else they can do, especially with those people who have less time and other
yeah.
commitment, what else they can do?
I think if you want to clear the quickest possible, I think one advice that I can give is consistency in studying and doing the mocks or the questions. It's consistency. Make sure that you have a set time on a daily basis that you dedicate to your preparation for PMP.
Hmm.
I think skipping days in between actually brings a bit of I would say makes you a bit you start losing interest if you start skipping a few days without studying or reviewing the materials or attending the class.
Hmm.
So be consistent in it. If it's 3 hours you're dedicating, make sure that you stick to those 3 hours or those 4 hours or 5 hours if you can,
Hmm.
but on a daily basis until you clear your PMP. I
Hmm.
think that's yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much,
yes,
Tresor.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
it comes the most important thing. Each one, teach one is the mantra of
yeah,
the game. How you can guide further people as you are moving forward. Work with them. Do send me your picture. I'll put a thumbnail of it. And please do make 10 questions for PMP marathon which we will be using. You
Okay.
only joined one PMP marathon because you cleared in 1 month, man. So we have
Yeah.
every 60 question answers which we are having on this Saturday. So yeah.
Okay.
And of course, do spread good words. As your friend said it, you joined it and you cleared it. I hope other people also.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely will spread the good words.
Thank,
And yeah, I'll prepare for some questions.
thank you. Thank you very much.